Good morning, gang. Good morning. Welcome to this week's altcoin video. Obviously, as we said a few weeks ago, we're going to start doing altcoin videos. So if you want an altcoin covered in next week's video, make sure to let us know down in the comments what altcoin you want covering. We'll pick a selection and throw up some charts next week. This week we asked Twitter what they want to see, and the popular votes were Q&T and INJ, so we're going to take a look at both of those today. Remember, first and foremost, everything discussed is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only, and this is just my view on the market. Now that BS is out of the way, right, let's begin. So let's start with Q&T. So what's happening at Q&T? Well, right now we're having a nice little pullback of 14.5%. And why we're having this pullback? Well, let's jump in and take a look. So first thing we're going to do is let's throw on a volume profile. If you guys have been following us for a while, you know that we like to use volume profiles. And look at this, straight away we've come into the value area high. So this, if you were long from lower, this would have been a fantastic take profit. I'm going to assume that we're somewhere around the 1.618 as an extension as well. Let's take a look at this. Just falling short of the 1.618 now. Anyone that trades with Spitfire and anyone that's learned through our online modules, you will know that once price starts reaching the 1.618, in my opinion, this means it's fairly extended. This could either be a wave 3 potentially, or it could be an extended wave C. But again, without going into the full Elliott wave count, I'm not going to do that on stream today. But the 1.618 means we are quite overextended, so it's a fantastic region for taking profits on longs and or potentially looking for shorts. And obviously you've got the confluence of this 1.618 with this value area high, so you know it's a place you'd be silly not to be taking profits around this sort of region. So what could happen now? Well, if price does manage to continue up here and get outside of this value area high, then I'd be looking into this consolidation here. So if you can see on the volume profile here, we've got this huge high volume node coming in right in the middle of this. So let's draw this a little bit better, shall we? Let's draw this as a bit of a range. So if we get our parallel channel tool, and let's throw this on, lining up with as many as we can, up to the top. Here looks good, and we can see that this EQ here, obviously we've got a perfect backtest here, lines up pretty much very nicely with this high volume node. So if price does manage to get up here, and is not rejected from this local range low, and it manages to get back inside, then this would be a logical target, the EQ, because it lines up with this high value node. So this is coming in, loosely speaking, around 300, obviously a huge psychological number as well. You know, traders do like big round numbers. So obviously, if you are holding onto a long hitter and it gets up here, personally, if this was me trading it, which I am not trading this, then I'd be front running this level, because every man and his dog will be putting their limit sells at this level here because it's a psychological number. So I'd personally be front running that, but obviously this isn't financial advice. What happens if we don't continue up and we continue going down? Well, if we continue going down, first and foremost, obviously we've got this point of control here, which is a significant point of control because this is the point of control that goes all the way back to inception. So this is coming in roughly around 185. If this fails to hold, then realistically your next area of support is going to be this consolidation here or this consolidation here. And if I was a gambling man, I would say that this consolidation probably lines up with a local golden pocket. Let's have a quick nosy. Yes, it does. So you got your golden pocket here, obviously. So we had this consolidation here. We broke out. Let's just get rid of some of these squiggly circles. And that one and that one. So obviously we had this consolidation here. We broke out of this range, formed a new range, came back in, back tested this range, and then we continued to move up. Got above this point of control, and obviously the rejection up here. So if we do end up coming down, then first and foremost, this would be an area I'd be eyeing. But based on how this has come up to this level in its sense, this is quite thin. This is quite thin, so there's very little support created until we get down to this 0.5, and this come down to this golden pocket here, this 618. Okay, if this doesn't hold, then I'd be looking at this consolidation here. Okay, that's what I'd be looking at, and obviously ultimately if that doesn't hold, then we're coming all the way back down to the value area low again. Does that hold? Well, we'll have to wait and see when it comes there. But obviously so far this has been the low of this altcoin. So yeah, so that's how I'd be playing it right now. Really basically at wave terms, you know, as I say, you could be looking at this as a potential 1, 2, 3, potentially looking for a 4. Now if it's a 4, then we can't come back into the territory of 1, so we'd have to be going no lower than this 0.5, and then you'd be looking at for a final 5th wave, and obviously wherever that lands we don't know, but obviously my eyes would be around this 300 mark. Obviously that's if that plays out. If not, this could be potentially, again, as I said, this could potentially a C, and this could be now for a pullback. The easiest way to tell with this is if this does retrace and comes back below this level here, then your impulse structure is invalid, or unless we're looking at something else, maybe a leading diag, but again, let's not get too excited about that yet. So yeah, as it stands right now, local pullback. Where it finds support, we will wait and see. If it does find support, and if it does continue higher, then again looking up around this 300 mark. So that'll be my view on QNT right now. So the next one that we're being asked to look at is INJ. Now you have to bear with me because I don't trade altcoins that often, unless it's something exciting, and there's been quite a lot of noise about INJ, and to be fair, there's been quite a lot of noise about QNT, so let's find out what's going on. So INJ has been around since October 2020. It's obviously had a fantastic run. So look at this. I didn't catch that low, did we? Let's try again. Over a £6,000 run, 6,000% run. Pretty good going. So what's happening right now? Well, quick view, zooming in down here. In fact, let's break it down to the 4 hour. Well, it's range bound. Quite simply, we're range bound. Respect to the lows, respect around the EQ, and obviously then we've got these levels here capping market right now. So is it a time to get uber bullish and uber excited? Well, not really, because it's just sideways. You know, it's, yeah, we're starting to curve around here. You know, some people, you get some influencers that might start calling this, you know, a cup and handle. It's not a pattern that I particularly trade. In fact, there's not many patterns that I trade. But that's what I'll be looking at right now. Let's make things a little bit more clear to understand. Let's throw on a volume profile. So right now we can see that we've broken out the value area high, and now obviously we're ranging in the top part of the range. So first and foremost, obviously I'll be looking at resistance coming in roughly around 237, 238. Give or take. Obviously there's transfer deviations like we had here, Yeah, there's always transfer deviation. So obviously if we do come back up here, we could either reject like this, that'd be option 1. If it does continue up, you know, we could be looking at another deviation, take out the stops potentially of this high before I roll over. And again, from a support point of view, then you'd be looking at this value area high initially, which is coming in at roughly 192. Below that, you'd be looking at the EQ, which is coming in at roughly 175. Below that, then potentially taking out all these stops down here, and you'd be looking at down at this point of control, which is 138, give or take. Okay, so that's first how I'll be treating this local range. If it does break out of this range and everyone starts getting uber excited and uber crazy, what I'll be looking at next, well, I'll potentially be looking at this range. What have we got here? Got respect to the EQ. We've got respect to the lows. Yeah, so this is what I'll be looking at after this. Let's also throw it on a. In fact, let's first and foremost do a volume profile like this. Okay, that's interesting. So let's get rid of this bottom channel. Oh, in fact, let's just change the color of it so it's a little bit clearer to see. Here we go. Right, so this is what I'll be looking at right now. Excuse the noise on the chart, but this is what we're working with. So if we do manage to break out of this range and everyone starts getting uber excited and we get some strong push with it, a lot of volume injection, you know, a lot of aggressive buyers, then first and foremost you'll be looking up at this overall range low. If it does manage to get back inside this range and find acceptance, then you'll be looking up at this value area high here. Above that, obviously you've got quite a lot of thin air, but obviously you're dealing then with this consolidation here. So quick see, let's just try something a little bit different here to see if we've got a clearer picture. Let's throw this. Whatever. If we're just taking the top range into consideration, then that will be there. There we go. So yeah, that's a little bit better. Right, so this is what we're looking at. Again, like we said, if we do break out of here, then we're coming up onto this range low here. Just above that range low is the value area low for this consolidation. So obviously if we do manage to get back into that, then we'll be looking up at this point of control. This is coming in roughly around 690. Above that, obviously we've got this volume to contend with. Above that, then we've got this volume to contend with and this overall value area high. But yeah, if we do manage to get up to these levels, then I'd be very, very conscious about this point of control. When a point of control is being left, the first time price returns to it, chances are it gets a good reaction, because obviously anyone that entered a position along this point of control is likely wanting to get back out of that position, whether that's a swing short, swing long, whatever it is. You know, some people could have longed here and then held this all the way down so they're underwater. So now, once price returns back to this point of control, then they'll be panicking and looking to get out of that trade break even. So even though they were long, and price come back to it, they'll end up closing their long, which, what does that mean? That means a sell. So therefore, chances are we could get a reaction down here and potentially looking down here again. But again, that's how I'll be treating this. INJ is range bound. You know, could it pop off like we've seen some altcoins do recently? Yeah, it could pop off. But how I trade, until this range breaks, it's still a ranging environment. Okay, so you know this could go on for a very long time if it wanted to. Again, if it does continue and it continues even longer, then there could be good signs of accumulation. You know, some big players, even some small players, might be starting to accumulate in these regions, which then potentially could cause it to pop. But again, if it did pop, how we trade, we don't get uber excited, because obviously we've still got all this to contend with. So you know, you'd be looking up at this range here first and foremost. And that's it. So that's QNT and INJ. So once again, remember, if you want an altcoin covering next week, let us know in the comments what altcoins you want covering. We'll pick a handful of them and throw some charts up next week. If you guys want to learn how we trade like this and how we spot these key SR levels, then first and foremost, check out our free Discord. You know, we share loads of ideas in the free Discord, whether that's Bitcoin, whether that's altcoins, or TradeFi. If you want to take your learning to the next level, then check out our website, links down in the description, spitfiretraders.com. On here you've got access to our free Discord, and obviously if you want to learn along with us and get access to all our video content, then check out the Copilot section. We've just finished our Elliott Wave series now, so there's a heck of a lot of content on there. And obviously you can join us for live streams every week, and then obviously new educational content that goes up, and you also get access to the private Discord where I share some of my high time frame and low time frame ideas on both altcoins, TradeFi and Bitcoin. But it's not a signal service. I just want to make that really clear. I'll share my ideas that I'm looking at, but it's not signals. I'm not giving you a entry, take profit, stop loss. I'm teaching you how to trade, not trading for you. All right, guys, that's what I'll do for today. As you were, bye-bye.